For the record, yeah. For the record. For the record.
That time.
Welcome back to the final segment. This is Don't Sleep on the Couch podcast with Iggy's Loudmouth podcast. I'm your boy, Mr. Prez. To my right, we got...
It's your boy Kash, a.k.a. Exec P, and I'm going to toss it to my man.
Iggy, what's up, everybody, man? We here. Last
And
one,
this is
the top.
This is
I'm
the
excited.
top of the award show for us. This is the top hip-hop awards.
I still haven't decided.
He's ready, people. He's ready. We're gonna put him on the spot. He's definitely gonna get it out there. But if y'all haven't watched, if y'all don't know, we did this back in 2019. Same group of people here. We did it again for the mid-year review, looking back. And this is to see does the list still hold up. If you need to know our personalities, go ahead and watch all the other stuff before you kind of see if you can guess where we're going to go. See if you can figure it out. And then after it's all said and done, if you want to leave in your comments, leave your top 10 albums. If you think that we was off or way off on this, go ahead and do that. Yeah, man, this is it. This is the big one. This is the big one. Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first, man?
Oh, man.
So any one of y'all jumping up ready? Do you still need more time, Cash?
I don't need more time.
I come prepared. I know my list is legit.
I don't need more time, man.
All right. We'll start off with Cash then. We'll start off with Cash and go to me and then.
Well, in a particular order, at number 10, I got my boy Conway the Machine. Way to bounce back after everybody was. I know they low-key was doubting you, and I know you felt that chip on your shoulder where you had Benny was shining, Westside Gunn is still doing his thing as an exec, and everybody know you nice. But then you gave us Lulu. Then you gave us another EP that I forget the name about because I'm not talking about that because I want to get to this. From a king to a god. Yes, every last song on From a King to a God, especially he set the tone with me with the intro. Then he followed it up with the joint with Dej Loaf. I was locked in from there. So that's my number 10. At number 9, 21 Savage Mode 2. I don't care what mood I was in. I was listening to this Savage Mode 2 from beginning to end. Him and Metro Boomin. Man, these dudes make magic when they link up, man. And I hope they do a part 3, part 4. Don't stop. All right. At number 8, this is when it starts to get a little shaky bakey, man. He may have been one of the most active artists this year. However, I'm going to go off what I was listening to. And it's no slight to him. He had probably one of the hardest singles. This is Lil Baby with My Turn. All right. Number 7. Really tough. Roddy Ricch. Roddy Ricch is number 7 for me, man. Excuse me for being antisocial. I'm sorry. This lasted the test of time. I got to get these young boys. I got to give them some shine, man. I can't keep going with the old guard, man. It's time for a change. And this dude is very talented. At this point, you should have listened to this album. It came out last December. We talked about it in 2019 as him being one of those guys. I kept coming back to this album, and it's very seldom that an album comes out a year prior. And in this time, in this climate, you keep listening to it. And I know you boys can attest to that. Y'all jump in wherever y'all want to because I don't care if y'all knock me off track. Where am I? Number 6. This is where it starts to get crazy, y'all. This is where it starts to get crazy, man. Damn it, man. Jesus. I love my boy.
Come on out with it.
Big Sean, Detroit 2.
Detroit 2. That's
Detroit 2. Yeah,
Detroit
that's where we going.
2 for number 6.
Number 6.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to stop you right there. I know we said we're going to get to the top 10, but yes, we are going to do the top 10. We're going to cut it off at 6. We're going to go through the top 5 again. We're going to go on around. I guess I'm up next. I will come out with it. So my top 10, Mr. Prez's top 10. Going to start off with Mozzie, Beyond Bulletproof. So man, the way this album starts to come on, man, unethical and deceitful, man, like.
As much as you keep telling me, hey, you on that Modesty? Modesty dropped like 4 times, but let me get back to you, man. Sorry.
Man, you're definitely right on that, man. If I didn't listen to this one song, Unethical and Deceitful, at least 5 times a week. Yeah. When it first came out, it was every day, but at least like after that, it was like 5 times a week. I'm telling you, man, I listened to this song, and it just killed me like every time. Like, man, it just hits. And then I'm not a big King Von. I didn't really know about him, but on the second song on here, the Body Count, King Von and G Herbo, man, that song just elevated that album even more, man. Then you got
King Von verse before he got shot.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. And if y'all don't know why we saying King Von, because King Von once again was another one of these people in 2020 that unfortunately lost their lives and beyond. Like, this is why Young Jeezy and Gucci Man versus reigned so prevalent within 2020. It was just like a lot of people still dying behind these senseless death, and people were still getting robbed and shot at after that. Unfortunately, like we had Boosie, and then you had Benny the Butcher get shot down in Texas. They had a label mate of Boosie also died behind all that stuff. So it's still like craziness going on, man. Like, what are we doing, man? People, we out here for the music and everything. Like, if you're going on, like some of this stuff got to tailor back and everything, man. We got to respect our own. We got way too much that we fighting together for. But I'm getting off track. So Betrayed, and y'all probably saying like, well, you bigging up Mozzie, who was just like the biggest like gang stuff in it, man. But the dude is so lyrically inclined with his stuff and the way he tells a story. Bulletproofly, The Homies Want to Know, Overcame is another great story he had on there, and Big Homie from the Hood, man. Like, all those was legit. My number 9 was Lil Baby, My Turn, the Deluxe. I want to make sure that we hit it on the deluxe one, because my originally go through to Lil Baby, I still do not love his intro on that Still Ugly or whatever. Like, it don't grab me initially on there. But then you go past that, you got Grace, which is just fire. No denying it, man. What he got a line up there, what it says, like, I done got rich and everybody my cousin now, man. Just like, so when he say that line right there, man, I was just like, man, that ain't that the truth? Like, you to constantly hear that, like, no matter, I ain't rich, but I mean, as you constantly get more and more money, you know, heard the stories, you can talk around and like people, everybody, all of a sudden, everybody your cousin. And that's kind of like how he was saying on that. So I really love that hook on that one. Emotionally Scarred, man. This was my whole jam. Like, this whole thing was like right when we had our first lockdown. I don't know if y'all had y'all lockdowns in the States and everything, but I'm over here in Germany. We had our lockdown. It was a pretty lengthy one. Me hitting my runs and everything. This was my run type album that I was hitting up every time. So it just had some hits on there, man. And then everything that got added onto the deluxe was a different level of the baby. Like, I know we started off saying like once the quarantine hit that you hope your artists have time to sit back, chill, actually improve and better their craft. And that's what it seemed like Lil Baby did up in here, man. That social distance, all in, low down, humble, get money, we get paid, all of them. He stepped up his bars big time on those, man. And like, he came with better and more relevant content in those, man. That whole album, man. My Turn, the deluxe one, man. Those last 6 songs that he added, very key into making that album like number 1 for me. All right. At number, where we at? We're at number 8. So 21 Savage, this is the Metro Boomin produced Savage Mode 2, Running, Mr. Right Now with Drake, My Dog, Brand New Draco, Said and Done, all those, man, all those tracks on there, man. I wasn't expecting it from 21 Savage. And then I think, was it My Dog, where he started to speak on his whole time of being in the UK, from the UK, going to Atlanta, and people kind of just like thinking that kind of made him a soft or a different, like he didn't go through those same type of life experiences still. It was actually kind of rougher because he was here illegally kind of, and he couldn't get driver's license, all the other struggles that he was going with, man. It was, he spoke, he told his story. And like when artists tell their story, man, when when they dig into and could drag you and tell you their story, where they came from, man, that just, it speaks volume. It's what Wayne eventually had to come out and do that made everybody buy into Wayne's character when he was a little bit more open book of his story, because everybody else has similar things that they go through with. Somebody, I ain't gonna say everybody from the UK and go to the States, but you got a portion where you feel kind of out of place and everybody's downplaying what you are and your struggles compared to theirs. And that's what it kind of related to. And yeah, definitely felt 21 on that, right? And then we got number 7, be Nas, King's Disease. And Don't Sleep on the Couch podcast. We go through this stuff and we do initial album reviews. And most of the time when you do initial album reviews, it's the first listen. You don't really, some music got to sit with you. Some music you gotta actually take in different environments. And that's how King's Disease was for me. The first time I heard it, I was like, it's okay. It's not his best work, which I think is God's son to me. But I didn't think it was up to par. But as it kind of sat with me a little bit more, and I'm hearing around, like, man, this was peak Nas, and he came back to it. And I could have thrown him in the veteran category, but I think that would have been doing this album a disjustice, man. Nas, King's Disease, man. So many songs on here are just immaculate, perfect. And very, very nice body of work on that. And then my final one, my number 6 for this category on here would be Young Dolph, Rich Slave.
What? Finally, I brought him over to the dark side.
And man, if y'all know my character, it's amazing that I have this type of song on here, because I'm more the lyrical miracle, all this little stuff that you got to have that type of context with me. So seeing somebody that's very much drawn from the 2 Chainz type of cloth, but it's more where my roots at, the 3-6 Mafia, Chatter Club of Thugs, you know what I mean? Like that type of stuff, like the more bounce, and that's what this, and it brought me back to. And man, the difference, only thing I can say why 2 Chainz versus Young Dolph, where it be just like, man, Young Dolph make you feel it. Like, even with his skits up in here that he was doing, like, it felt like you were sitting in the conversation with him on the phone calls that he was having, just reliving learning about his past, his father, or learning about other things that happened in his hood. Like, you was there on that journey with him. Like, it was very engaging album altogether. And then Young Dolph just talked that, and you know, every song, man, had a great beat, great hook. He rides the beats perfectly every time. He had the perfect features on all this. That Young Dolph album, man, had a hard time just jumping out of my playlist week to week. It kept coming back. So
hey man, me and
Young
my
Rich
wife
Slave,
low key ratchet to my Benz. Every time we step in her shit, we just, you know, we play my Benz. You know, it's a ratchet song, but it go hard, man. And then the one where he was going at Yo Gotti, like, I think it's like the first 2 songs. Dolph a fool.
Yeah, hold up, man. That one, man. To be honest, R&B with Meg Thee Stallion, the song Rich Slave, and then First Slave or One Slave featuring G Herbo. Man, all those, man, he had so many good ones on there. I ain't gonna waste y'all time. So there we go. That was my number 6 to 10 for you. So what do you have, Iggy? Or do y'all have anything to say about any of those albums?
Oh, no, man. No, those are ones that are all in consideration, or I listen to a lot, in my opinion. So I got no hate for you.
Yeah, mine's pretty similar. I got 10. I got Rap and Roll, Dom Kennedy, Kash. No, I've been on him about Dom Kennedy, bro. So it's been a solid 2 months. I've been telling him about Dom Kennedy. So
look, man, I like old Dom, man. New Dom,
bro. This was his best project since Yellow Album to me.
That's saying
maybe Lemonade, maybe by Kennedy, maybe by Dom Kennedy. No, I think this might have been better. I just feel like
cover. That was not the one.
What was the one that he had, like Still Back Home or something like that? What was the name?
That was Get Home Safely.
Get Home Safely. Yeah, that was the one that was for me, man.
Yeah,
I got to check this one out. I'm gonna check it out.
I mean, that's and it reflected on my top artists as well list, and I just kind of was like, you know, I got to reflect my list off what I'm truly listening to. I listen to it by myself, and my wife likes the album, so we play it together. And that's one of her. You know, it ain't nothing lyrical. Dom ain't no lyrical nigga. He ain't no hard hitting nigga. It's gonna be a vibe. So you need to be listening for transitions and like just something to vibe.
Just a good feel.
And
just
relax.
a good feel. Yep.
Just a good feel. Yeah. So he's my number. He's my number 10. My number 9. I got My Turn, Little Baby. He definitely elevated to a level this year that, you know, he passed. Before it was just like the hood hits, but now he's elevated, and this album was there. As far as lyrically, I think this actually is the first. I've always respected his lyrical ability. It's funny because the guy I'm with, we always talk about how people kind of slept on that with him. Anyways,
he got it. He got it. Like
he got it.
You gotta. Yeah, you just have to listen and.
It's no denying it after that bigger picture. It's no denying it. Nobody can deny that.
If you get past this accent,
I think it's part of it too, because he sounded like Young Thug to a lot of people when he first came out, like his tone. And so they kind of grouped him in, and Young Thug is all flow, no bars, and Lil Baby is mostly, he mostly by his line.
And he could tell a story on the low.
Yeah, he can tell a story, so he's. I'm glad he's getting his love. Another person, like you said, my number 8 is Savage Mode 2, 21 Savage Metro. Okay. Everybody gave it the respect already. I will say, if you don't know about UK, man, y'all need to. I don't know if y'all doing TV shows and shit again, but Top Boy will let you know UK ain't nothing to fuck with. So it's, you know, shit goes on there just like it goes on here, and it was cool that he got to kind of tell a story on that, but also, like, I think 21 Savage is the best. Metro does a lot of work with a lot of different people, but him and 21, I don't think anybody gets to where they get as far as being together.
You know, I didn't mention it, but the narration.
Yeah, with Morgan
Freeman set it apart, bro. That set it apart from a lot of albums. Like, it should probably be high on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Based on that alone.
If y'all don't know, man, he had Morgan Freeman out here just dogging the person that won't be mentioned, just any snitches, man, just out here just talking grimy. Like when you're low key be thinking like Morgan Freeman, that OG.
Snitches and rats. Snitches and rats.
that bass line in the back was hard. So number 7 is New Beginnings, Reason. I think it was in somebody's rookie, but for me, I think Reason really being at TDE comes with a lot of pressure, and I think the first album was good, but I think this is the one that kind of like, I'm Reason. I'm not like Isaiah Rashad Jr., Kendrick Lamar Jr., J-Rock Jr. I'm my own artist, and I can carry my own albums of quality by myself. And he did. I mean, and it was good to see, because that's a strong roster to be with. You know what I'm saying? And especially if you're rapping on that roster. So, like, you know, for him to kind of the past year and a half since doing Dreamville, and him kind of going from there has really elevated him. And I think he deserves his respect, because his album is one of the more better conceptual, and as far as flowing together, like y'all said, with that track with Rhapsody, it kind of flowed right into the track Fall that fit with that song. You know what I mean? And so those transitions were in that album kind of take in count for me as far as the album production. So and that kind of, I think I could tell he kind of studied J-Rock a little bit with this album, Redemption. Like, he kind of studied that, because I felt a little bit of elements of that in there, but it was good. And then my 6th one, From a King to a God, Conway. Like you said, Kash, man. I feel like this album, he wasn't getting behind Westside. I could get known for just the shorter cuts and the features, and this album did that. And he's been on a fucking hell of a run. this
Since
year.
then,
If it wasn't for Benny, he would be where, you know what I mean? And I don't want to be like that because they both fire, but you know, Conway's on another level right now, bro. I have no problem with people saying he's better than Benny because he's really rapping on a crazy
pick your poison,
level.
man. Pick your poison with the two.
So yeah, that's my number 6.
Yeah, and to add to your number 6, like what really drew me in was like the shit that me and Prez was talking about on one of our pods, where like, yo, y'all got nothing but time to sit back, do your thing, work on your craft, and come out of this pandemic a lot better. And then as you know, I was listening to one of his interviews. I think it was on Drink Champs or somewhere else. I think it was Bootleg Kev, one of the two, where he was just like, yo, I recorded this whole thing myself, mixed it for the most part, and then sent it off to the engineers to really get it done. So that's like kind of what we doing. Like what we doing with our podcast, what we doing is all by yourself. It's all organic. And then it came out so damn good. That story behind it and the music, man, that's why I got to give him his flowers, man. Cause him and Benny, man, I can't wait to hear the joint project that they planning.
And I'm gonna take it back to like I remember I was like in my childhood, like I was hearing was just like when Master P, when he was coming up and everything, and at a point when he got his record deal and everything, he didn't really tour for a minute after a while, because like long as he sold records, it was good. So anybody who was like still mad because they couldn't tour and all the show money, you should have made your craft better, because if your music's selling, you're gonna get paid regardless. You don't need that extra tour. So that should have made you really go in and hone your craft and just put out the best product possible, because everybody's going to listen and you still got your money coming in. Forget the show money that you may not be getting for another year and a half. Let's go get this real money where it's at by improving your craft, like just point blank. So if you felt like it was down because you couldn't tour, it was because you were a little bit lazier on that point and you didn't actually take the time to improve and drag in more people to the craft that you love. Point blank.
For sure. So, fellas, we at 5-1.
Top five.
So
let's go a little bit more detail on this one, man. As you getting in, man, tell us what you like, why everybody should be listening in on your album. And want to start off in the same spot, Kash?
Yeah, I got it, man. So at number 5, man, I got West Side Gun with Pray for Paris. Now, I know a lot of people may say, yo, his voice, this, that, and the third. Yep. But by goddamn, if he don't have the production and he says what he needs to say on time, if that makes sense. So like he was saying about Young Dolph, like you have all these different things, the 2 Chainz comparison and all that, but is he speaking to you when he raps? You know what I mean? All of his cadences, the boom, 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 and the ad-libs and all that, that's all part of artistry. You know what I mean? It just isn't about the bars. And the way he strung those features together, good. Yeah. Man, like almost everybody on there, now you know he demands the respect of his peers. But almost everybody on those features, that's probably the best I've heard them at one time or another. You know what I mean? So that one right there is fire. And I can go through damn near every song on this album and tell you that this one was fire, man. So that's my number 5. At number 4, this is where it gets kind of sticky here, man. I'm gonna go ahead and say Royce the 5'9" with the Allegory. I wanted to keep him out my list, but I in my right mind, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. Nope.
Why'd you want to keep him out?
4, he's out. I'm going back on my word. He's out. And number 4,
how you getting all these bonus albums now, bro? You can't be getting bonus albums. He's out. I gotta find. Speak his piece. Everybody gonna do this now.
Freddie Gibbs, man.
Okay.
That's my number 4. Putting Freddie at number 4. Man, from top to bottom, when 1985 came on, Kane Train was spitting that shit, man. And Babies and Fools. You guys mentioned it as one of your verses of the year on here. So I can't say enough good things about Freddie came, man, and then he nominated for a Grammy. I know F the Grammys and all that, but this type of album should not be a Grammy nominated album, as crazy as Freddie is talking on here, and it's all lyrics, man. So I'm glad he's finally getting his flowers on that. All right, number 3, I got Reason.
Okay, salute.
I got Reason.
Mm-hmm.
So this was, I was proud of him, man, because there you have it. I thought, yo, who is this guy? Like, I don't even remember how I caught wind of him on There You Have It, but with this one, it was like he just put it together because I felt like he had so much pressure on him. Like you said, Iggy, with being on TDE, he had to deliver a solid body of work. And if he didn't drop this year, when was he going to drop? You know what I mean? Because it would have been hard to drop next year, because if everything clears up in the world as far as COVID, you know who coming. Ab coming, Schoolboy, Kendrick, all SZA coming, Isaiah Rashad. You got like 4 or 5 people ahead of you, bro. And that's all. J-Rock. You got everybody on your label ahead of you that people are truly checking for, and they don't know who you are. But dropping when he did drop, he got everybody's attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was everywhere he needed to be. Funk Flex, Joe Budden podcast, Bootleg. He had a lot of interviews and a lot of press for it, and it was by word of mouth, man. All right.
Yeah.
So where I'm at, number 2.
Yep.
Number 2 is Deontay Hitchcock. Look, like I said, in my 2021 Rising Stars, I don't feel this type of way about a lot of artists, but when I do, I'm typically right. And this kid has his own.
The cockiness of this dude. The cockiness. Go ahead.
Can I continue? All right. So this dude, man, like, he has it all. Like, he doesn't have any weak spots. And I know this is his debut album, and he's had like little EPs and mixtapes before that, but I ain't hear about him before that. I heard about him now. And he got it. He got every last thing that you want in an artist. He's funny. He has down to earth stuff. He has things to where he can just talk his shit and talk about weed smoke, messing with different women. He can talk about relationships, and then he can outbar you at the same time. Yeah. So when you have all of that in your arsenal, it's really on what moves you make next. Because
well, I think it was like the first or second track on there where he started like talking, and he hit him with a bar that they didn't know. They was like, "What does that mean?" And then he stopped, told you what it mean, and then started right back
into it. Like, it's just little stuff. He did the small things on this album to separate himself, and that's just one of the examples, you know, where he introduced some playfulness. It wasn't all serious shit. You know what I mean? He did have some funny songs and funny skits. So he incorporated everything that you typically want in an album to make it a full body of work. Like, how I listen to music, I want it to be like a day in a life. I want to be introduced to a day in a life with you, if it's not a straight concept album. And this one was definitely something to where I was like, yo, I got to know who Deontay Hitchcock was, and I can't wait for him to drop something else because I'll be on it. And I can't wait to go back to his old shit. So Iggy just put me onto some old shit that I'm probably going to listen to right after we get off of here. You know what I mean? But I'm a fan. But again, at number 1, this man needs his due. I think y'all both should have him at number 1, and I hope you do. It's Benny the Butcher, Burden of Proof. Yes. This thing, I have not gone a day without playing Famous, Legend, and what's the other one with Wayne? I forget the name of it. Anyway, Famous and Legend have been my 2 and 1 way flight with Freddie Gibbs. Yeah, Timeless. Those 4 are the ones like off that album, fire off the bat. But the entire album is cold. But when he dropped this, it was so much kind of, I won't say it was a lot riding on it, but in my mind, I'm like, this got a hit because Hit Boy dropped with Nas. Then he dropped with Big Sean, and those were both fire. So at that point, I'm like, oh my God, if Benny don't come in and crush this is gonna crush me, because I'm like, I know what Benny's capable of. But then he came through, man, and it don't matter who I talk to. I ain't talked to cats in years, but we talk about music. When you primarily talk, hey, you heard that, Benny? Why wouldn't I have? That was why wouldn't I have? Of course I heard that, Benny. Is it the best thing you heard in a while? Oh yeah. I've been telling people this dude is that guy, man. And he was talking that shit like he knew he was that guy. That's when you know a cat is reaching his ascension, and he's in that pocket, man, and he hasn't stopped since. Luckily, the thing that happened in Houston wasn't fatal, and we could continue to hear some Benny evolve. But man, I can't wait for Tana Talk 4 if that's gonna come. I can't wait for The Plugs I Met 2. He's mentioned those 2 albums, man. Like, man, this guy, man, he's one of those guys, man. I can't say enough great things about him.
Mm-hmm. Man, great list. But let's get into what the people really want to hear. Let's give them the top 5.
Iggy, what do they want to hear, Iggy? You got it,
Prez top 5. All right, so we got Freddie Gibbs, Alfredo. That's coming in at number 5, produced by The Alchemist. And but they just spoke on a couple of his songs. I'll speak on a couple of more. So the first one, 1985. This is Gangsta Gibbs just being top tier at his craft right there. It just drags you in. You was like, he just released Bandana the year before, and it was great. But this is now with Alchemist versus Madlib. Like, how is this gonna play out? And I can tell you right from the beginning, man, just lock you in.
Bag, Prez. I think Bandana should have been nominated for a Grammy over this one. I think they making up for it, but continue on.
Oh, yeah. I definitely think, and man, like ever since this man got released from his situation, man, everything that he done put out, it just, he don't take time for granted, it seems like, anymore, man. This dude is making you feel everything he can, he put out, like, and he's going to constantly drag everybody else into his zone and get his just due before it's too late, And I just love that about Freddie Gibbs, man. And then what God Is Perfect next, man, that one just flows, man. It just flows. And then the one that was a big surprise to me was Something to Rap About, just because it was featuring Tyler, the Creator. And I was just like, I'd heard Tyler, the Creator on some things he gets me on, some things like he can really rap on, but sometimes he comes with that other stuff that he's going on. And I don't really like that Tyler Creator, just being honest. But when he raps, he comes with it. And this was one that he actually rapped on. So that song together, Something to Rap About, which was just an open topic, they both came with it, man. This is a nice little song that plays out. Then you got Babies and Fools, and then the one
Conway came with it on
Conway. Yeah. And this is just a vibe, man. The minute you put it on, man, it's hard to take out if you don't listen to the whole thing. And it's not a long listen to start with at the beginning. So like, anytime I put this on, I say I just want to go to this one song, but then I end up just going straight to the beginning and playing all the way through. And that was throughout the year for that album for me. Number 4, Spillage Village and Spilligion, which is basically saying that it's a religion. And that's kind of how it's going to be. So some people may actually like, what in the world are you talking about? Nah, it's to the religion, the sense that if you know about it, you like it, it's different, and you're going to sing it to the high heavens, man. Like, I can't heap enough praise on this, man. It has a unique type of sound to it, but once you put it on there, Earth Gang, JID, Black, like all these artists that's on there, man, they just meld together, and it is the perfect sound all the way through. It's another one, just like the Freddie Gibbs, I say, you put it on, you're going to listen to all of it, man, and they just drag you into the, like, you may say, oh man, this is a little bit weird, but then they drag you into loving that sound throughout that album. Like, and you're going to hit rewind on a couple of those songs. Definitely Baptized, Song Sing, Mecca, man. Mecca is like that song for me on there. And then End of Days, man, like just go listen at that album. Like I said, it's one of those songs that maybe that may not be your zone, but I guarantee if you start listening to it and really listen, like, man, you're going to love that album. Number 4 for me. Number 3, Benny the Butcher, Burden of Proof. Man, I'm like the third and last person to actually speak on this album that we're talking about. So point is, if all 3 of us, and you can see we got different pockets in the stuff we like, if we speaking on this, Go listen at this album. Go listen at it. I'm tired of bumping into people who still be saying like, oh, they from this part of New York. Who got something up at Buffalo and all this stuff? Like, who's rapping in Buffalo? If you still one of those people, man, get out of your zone, man, and go listen at these people, man. You're way too late on the jump on this. And y'all saying like, hey, who's still missing out on it? I'm telling you, me and Kash personally have talked to people that still be late on this, man. It's like, where have you been, man? Listen at this music. You will definitely love it. Right, Kash? You been with me on that, and we literally had to tell a friend 2 months ago.
We had to tell a friend, like, he's like, Buffalo? What's in Buffalo? I'm like, man, this dude is super detached. Like if it's good music, it's good music. Like, go listen to it. Like, we not telling you just because, just for shits and giggles.
He's from New York.
Yeah, he from New York. He's far removed from New York. He ain't lit in forever, so you know. But he's still holding on to them old ideals from the past, to where anybody outside of New York, like if they ain't that shit. You know what I mean?
But he was Fred the Godson's biggest follower to me,
Rest
and I know that hit him kind of hard into R.I.P. Fred Godson, man. And yeah, he was lyrically, man, and you definitely can't fault him on that. So the songs that stood out on this for me: Burden of Proof, Sly Green, One Way Flight, with featuring Freddie Gibbs. Famous, man. Famous is just like when that beat come on, man. It's just so powerful. It's so powerful. The lyrics are grimy. It's just like hard hitting, just truth, man. Like it makes me feel like I'm not part of the streets. I'm not there, but it feels like when you're that sinner in church and you feel the preacher talking directly to you. I feel like, man, Benny is sitting right here just telling me that story, just talking dead at me right then and there, man. That song Famous, man. Timeless, just we said Wayne come with he's wishy-washy, man. And he don't always, people pay for features, and I don't feel like he live up to that feature money sometimes. But I guess Benny kind of, probably sent something back like, nah, you're gonna come with it. And like he got top tier Wayne on this and Big Sean. So this was just great. And I think it rivals like those other type of collab songs like T.I. Swagger Like Us or anything like that. Any type of song like that where you're gonna put like a top features on there. This one easily jumps up in that category. Over the Limit featuring Dom Kennedy, and then Legend, which we had spoke about before. So, and then my number 2, I'm ready for it. Jay Electronica, A Written Testimony. And they gonna say, because it's my number 2 album, man. If it's one album that I had listened at like throughout the year, nonstop, and just been killing it, it's been this album. And some people may say like, yo, he came too much with the Muslim stuff. I'm not Muslim, but I'm telling you, like, I felt a lot of things that he was saying on there and everything that he wrote. He had Jay-Z featured. People gonna say that's a cheat code or not. If you got that opportunity to put Jay-Z on your album, you ain't gonna do it. Come on, man. If he gonna get it, like, yeah, of course. And it's going to come out with great music because Jay-Z put on it. He's going to put his extra love and time into it. So the fact that you know that and you know what Jay-Z going to put up in there, you know this is classic stuff. This is good stuff, man. Like, I don't even know why y'all even was debating that or y'all upset about stuff like that. This is great music. That's all I want at the end of the day is great music. And Jay-Z and Jay Electronica came with it on this, whatever you Watch the Throne 1.5, whatever you want to call it.
1.5.
This is a great album. You can't tell me The Binding featuring Travis Scott, like that song don't hit. Never Ending Story, Fruits of My Spirit,
even more help. Travis Scott and Jay-Z.
I don't
Come
care,
on,
man. You can say whatever. So nobody should have features. Everybody should do a J. Cole. The dude had constantly put out songs and leaked songs and stuff. Everything got to be meticulous for him. Like, man, so you done heard the songs without anybody. You know he can rhyme. You know what he can do. This is the body of work that he put out, and it is a good album. Point blank. I done heard enough of y'all saying I ain't gonna let y'all talk on this. Y'all ain't doing nothing. This is a great album. This is deserving where it's at where it's at for me because of the music. The music, point blank. 40 days, 40 nights. That's how many. Man, come on, man. Trying to live up to the hype. Come on,
that should probably be your worst verse of the year. You missed You missed add that to that segment.
Cash. I know you controlling the computer, but mute yourself. Mute yourself for the rest of the time over here. Not gonna let you put Dale Electronica down like that, man. Great album, man. Like I said, I know you're gonna get a lot of kickback off that, but consistently, what I have listened throughout that year has been that album since the beginning of January on through. It has never left my rotation. The key songs on there, The Binding has like probably been my top. Yeah, I think it was. They released it on there. Yeah, it was my top played this year, point blank. And I told you how many times I listened at that Mozzie, Unethical and Deceitful, and that got played more than that. Like, it wasn't a day that went by that I ain't listened at that song, point blank. Number one, this was a different one, fellas. Big Sean, Detroit 2. I have been a Big Sean.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You was
not even a Big Sean fan before this album. Like, not at all.
Not at all.
How does he jump? How does he go from not in top 10, not mentioned at all, to your favorite album of 2020? Please, you got the spot. I got to hear this.
So, like he said, like you hope that some of these artists went in and utilized that time that was spent in quarantine to their benefit. I don't know when he was doing these rhymes. He had them before, but I feel like he went and perfected every little portion during that time frame. Because what Big Sean was able to put out on this album, every song is top tier, and he has like 20 songs on here, man. Like, it's great album all the way through. The parts that kind of like put it over the edge for me was you had Dun Life featuring Lil Wayne. You had the Friday Night Cypher right there, man. Like, just him doing that and putting Eminem, Royce the 5'9" on there. Just putting everybody from Detroit. He got that whole group together and actually got them to put out a great body of work on that portion. You got ZTFO, Harder Than My Demons. I told y'all have heard me talk about Post Malone. He had a song with Post Malone, Wolves, that I liked. If he can make me like Post Malone, man, like, this dude was just on everything. Deep Reverence, man, that song right there, man, when that beat switches. No, that was Look at Me. Look at Me when that beat switches and he just goes in, man. This album, man, yeah, it just drugged me in and it made me like it. And it's no denying it. If you can do that, if you can go from my not mentioned, not the artists I look for, to basically a weekly, if not every 3-day rotation into the music I listen to, you done did it in my book, man.
That's crazy.
You kept elevating. You kept elevating. You don't think like this many albums in that he can continue to do it, but he did it. He did it, man. Big Sean, gotta give him his props. Detroit 2, top album.
No, on some real shit, that just goes to show you, for people that's watching or listening, is like, even if you don't like an artist, like, do not listen to him if everybody telling you that this album is fire. Like, don't do it just off the strength of, for what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why would you deny yourself good music? You as a music connoisseur or lover, you should want to go listen to whatever everybody's saying is fire. Like, you know, trust your peoples, man. And sometimes people may win you over. They may not. It may be 2-3 albums in, but you know, this is crazy, man. Like, if y'all know, I never checked for Detroit.
Yeah. Big Sean. I ain't never checked for Big Sean, man. He have a hit on the radio that I may know, but every time I listen to this album, I just say it ain't for me. It ain't getting me. The song "Guard Your Heart" with featuring Anderson .Paak and Wale. That one, man, love that song as well too.
That's
man.
Not a surprising thing.
Yeah. How you gonna go from giving me praise to down to me now?
Anything with Wale, you gonna give it props. You probably wanted to give Wale that EP, but you didn't.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, man. It was just some other ones that I went to. I really wanted to, man, but I was just like, man, that's just me being too much of a bias thrown up in there. Like, if I really want to be, talking about the songs that I think really stand out, is those. But yeah, that took a big one. Detroit 2, man. Detroit 2.
That's crazy. All right, Iggy, man, take us out, man. Take us out.
I'm gonna spark it up off my fifth pick. And I talked to Kash about this last night, but I was like, fuck it, because I think in the next 3 or 4 months, this is gonna hold. Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon 3 just came out yesterday. I think it's gonna hold. I think it's that was the best production Kid Cudi has had on any album.
Whoa. Kids See Ghosts is still immaculate, short, sweet. It's just featuring him and Kanye. That song. Hey, no. I'm a big supporter of Kid Cudi, and I'm definitely with you on this. And I love this Man on the Moon 3. And I was debating about it as well. It's just that the fact that you just mentioned, like, it just came out yesterday, and I know these other albums have sat with me, and like, you know how your opinion can change sometimes, like the Nas Disease, and like you go back and listen at it. I did not have enough time with it to see what it's even though immediately like I'm coming at it, like, you know, when good music is good music, you know this is gonna really do it. But I really want to give it the benefit of the doubt, and since it came out in December, I know it'll be available for next year's going on to me, and this may be my J Electronica a year from now. It's still in the mix, and it's gonna be in that list, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm definitely with you on that. It's just unfortunate, like, we doing this at this time, and his album dropped yesterday.
I was mad at him for that, because I was like, bro, you would drop this fire ass fucking album out of nowhere that you just announced on Sunday that I listened to, and this shit is fantastic. And I honestly put on Jack Harlow's album first, because you don't know really what to expect with Kid Cudi these days. You know what I'm saying? So
Jack Harlow.
I didn't really know.
What's poppin'?
Jack Harlow.
What's poppin'?
Oh,
you haven't heard What's Poppin'?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that song with yeah. It got your boy on that. Dude y'all was bigging up. Y'all liked his R&B stuff. Tory Lanez, yeah.
Oh, I definitely did not. Anyways.
Nope. Not with me.
Anyways. Yeah, so I put him first, then I get the Kid Cudi. I didn't know what to expect. I'm just letting it play. And it get to the 5th song. It get to about She Knows This and Dive and Damage. Once it get there, I'm like, this, bro, where did this come from? Like, and I play this. He got Pop Smoke on there and Skepta. Like, that shit's hard to me.
That shit was hard. From that point you just mentioned, right before Dive. What's the song before Dive?
She Knows This.
She Knows This, Dive. Then it go like from there. For me, like the first few songs was hard, but I was like, oh man,
it ended well. It ended well. Once that, like I was saying, I think Mr. Solo Dolo is like not a song or two before that. Mr. Solo Dolo,
September 16th. I mean, it's gonna be hard for me to say that, and I actually fairly try. I'm like, I actually am listening to this, comparing it to other albums that I actually have in my.
He took me back to my depression music that I used to like. Like I really like Joe because he made a lot of depression music. I really like Joe because he made depression music I can feel for my depression. Yeah. But but it was a rainy day the last 2 days here in Germany, and I've been listening to that Kid Cudi, man, and
it's right.
It put me right where I need to be, right in my good depression.
And I'm glad you listed this, man. Like and giving the dude his praise, man. Like I said, like I had to give
flowers.
Oh, for sure.
Just like I had to give Big Sean, man. Like, I mean, I feel like he influenced so much through that era, man. If you don't listen at this,
for real.
If you don't listen at this and don't realize, like, this dude was writing so much for Kanye and like that 808 and Heartbreaks. This is like 808 and Heartbreaks amplified. Like, this is the pure. This is it right here. This is the dude who was giving it. You getting it straight from the source, and that's what this. So if you like that album, I guarantee you're gonna love this one.
Yeah, because you hear a lot of elements like from even Travis Scott. Like, you know, he was working with Travis Scott too, and look, young dudes, you may be like, oh, he sound like Travis Scott. No. Go back and do your research for once, kids or people who have an attention deficit disorder. Go back, because then you'll realize all these cats, Juice WRLDs, all of those folks that they are Kid Cudi babies, man. And that how Kid Cudi sounds on this album is how he's always sounded. Yeah. And they just got help from his flow and got inspired. So don't ever think. I don't want people to think that is Travis Scott, because you hear a lot of stuff you hear Travis Scott do on this album, but that ain't from Travis Scott. That's from Kid Cudi.
And man, we just jumped all on this, man. Everybody's just giving this praise, man. This your number 5, but you see how all of us feel, man. And that hum that he always hits on there, man, it just makes a track. Like, ain't nobody can do that simple little hum, but nobody can match that hum that he does for some reason, man. It just makes a track.
Out. You done pointed out a hum. Oh man.
But for real, like when you hear it though, it just like it fits no matter where he puts it.
All right.
All right. So yeah. So number 4, my rest of them we've kind of gone through already, and I King's Disease, Nas. That's my number 4. Ultra Black in 20s. I would say Ultra Black is really where it started catching on for me. Fantastic year of Hit Boy. He's got 3 of my top 4 albums. My next one, Detroit 2. Like Prez said, man, this is probably Big Sean's best year of his career. And it's good to see that he actually took the time, got his mind right, took a break, and was able to deliver a match to Detroit, which is considered his best project. So he matched it, and maybe he did better with this, and gave us a little bit of last bit of Nipsey, and you could tell Big Sean's in a good place as an artist. You know what I mean? Like he's able to do what he feels is best for his career musically, and you could tell that he was able to do that with this album. So it was dope to see. So yeah, that was my number 3. Number 2, I got Alfredo. It's a straight play through and skips. I mean, I think everybody in hip hop pretty much knows Alfredo is one of the top albums this year. If you look anywhere on any publication or any blog, it's probably going to be in top 10 or top 5 at least. So not much to say there. Obviously, I had it as my best verse too with Frank Lucas, but Rick Ross had a bomb-ass verse on Alfredo. So Tyler, the Creator, probably had one of the better verses this year on there too. And then Burden of Proof, number 1. Y'all already know I'm a Benny head. I make it very clear about that. Nothing else to say. It's his time. He hasn't had a bad verse in 2 years. I mean, who's on a run like this right now? Nobody. So, Benny the Butcher, I'm glad he's still here. That was crazy when that news dropped, man, because it's been a crazy year for rappers. So I'm glad he's here. I'm glad he's able to still give us this work, because he's on a trajectory to be one of the best ever if he keeps it up. So yeah. So that's it.
There you have it, people. That go all our lists, and as you can tell, like there's some of these people started off in an area that you probably didn't think they was actually going to grow into these top 10 lists of these top 10 artists. I mean, Freddie Gibbs started off with Young Jeezy, who's a different type of vibe than what he's rapping now, and in the direction that he went. You had Benny the Butcher, who's been in it for so long. I mean, they're in their 40s, right? Mid-30s. And they're just coming into their own, and they bringing back this old sound. It's they got their own pocket, and it's just like 10 years ago, like they were still like nothing, but they kept with whatever they loved in, and that's what you got to do, and that's what we constantly do with this podcast, and what Iggy does with his podcast is what we love to do, and it's why it just comes off so authentic, and hopefully this grows better and better, just like all those albums and those artists that they're doing it, and eventually they'll grab whoever that's going to be on there, like the Big Sean's or whatever, like it may be 4 or 5 songs, 4 or 5 albums in before they reach somebody, but they're constantly elevating and taking investment into their craft. And talking about taking investment into our craft, I mean, for us, Don't Sleep on the Couch podcast, we went ahead and did that. We made this into a actual company. So don't know, like we kind of official now. We got this as an LLC, and we looking to work that thing out and make this thing, expand to wherever it expands at, and continue to work down those paths. So I'm excited to take this journey with you, Kash and Iggy, man. I love these things, and like the chat groups and everything everything that we read and created and how we constantly talk to each other now. So definitely glad that we got to communicate and link up and everything. And I love these right here, man. I love these things, just being able to nerd out on hip hop music, man, basically most of all. So it's where all our it's where all our conversations kind of kicked off, even with me and Kash past the 20 years, and it's just like spread over and just keep leaking out. And hopefully we get even more people that we can talk to and spread this thing on out, man. And hopefully the listeners just continue to come, because I can tell you right now, if you're just finding this podcast, like this year has been tremendous growth, and it's been due to a lot of things like this. We got our initial reaction reviews that's going out, but on the audio portion, I can tell you, like, man, they really love these things that we do, where we go back and recap the year in full. So we definitely appreciate you joining us in on that, Iggy.
Sure. Yeah, thank y'all for having me. Like I said, man, we got plenty of music that we dropped today, so I can't wait till these playlists come out so we can add some of what we've been listening to, and the listeners can kind of follow our ears. Man, yeah, thank y'all for coming. Like Prez said, I'm Iggy. Iggy's on my podcast. You can follow me on IG. Iggy's on my podcast all together. I'm on all streaming platforms. If you want genuine conversation, if you want real generational conversations, for sure. Come check me out. I've got a lot to talk about.
All right, appreciate it, Iggy. Appreciate it. You mind if I close it out, Prez?
I got one more thing to add over here that we just don't want to forget. Where we got our Patreon supporters. They come up with ideas. They know that we did this. They've been our supporters for a minute. A couple of them sent in their top 10 list. We definitely going to throw that in at the end of this, so you can see what their top 10 list was. I think I know for sure we got Tyrus. I think we got a couple more coming in, but we'll put theirs up. And Patreon supporters, they didn't help us out big this year on improving our equipment and our setup around everything. We still have to do it virtually sometimes, everything, because 2020 is what it is, and it's the COVID and quarantines and all these other things come out. But everything that we've been able to upgrade this year have been because of them, and definitely want to thank all of them. So, yeah. Go ahead, Kash.
Yeah, and with that said, man, I'll close it out. Like you said, like we've had tremendous growth this year. Iggy's had tremendous growth this year as far as the podcast go. He's probably going to be named the top podcaster in what he does in Tennessee. Our numbers continue to grow. We don't put them out there because we not trying to brag, but there's no way we continue to do this without actually seeing some growth. So we appreciate each and every one of you guys listening. We love doing this. We would do this even if people weren't cheering us on, weren't paying to see us move forward. And that's kind of one of the greatest forms of flattery, is just like, people just believing in you. And like, we really took YouTube seriously this year. So almost 200 people subscribed in 1 year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's big for people who are like Prez and I, and like Iggy, who we ain't really trying to be all out in the spotlight all the time. We just being ourselves. We ain't got to be the loudest in the room, but we deliver quality content. And I think you should check out Don't Sleep on the Couch podcast and Iggy's Loudmouth podcast, because I truly believe that whether it's podcasting or anything else, I think we're going to take off, fellas. So this was a good talk, sure, man. I appreciate nerding out with y'all, man. I wish we had 4 more hours, but we don't. And we definitely need to link up a little bit more than half year in the annual. So we will be sure to link up on albums that matter throughout the year. Yeah, we'll probably do that. So the big albums that drop, we'll do some more cold podcasting.
For sure. Yeah, man. Happy New Year, y'all, man. Christmas, everybody listening. Thanks for tuning in, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Same. Out.